Hey guys, Foxtrop here with the patch 3.14 jungle breakdown video. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you will be aware, there's a lot of changes with the new jungle coming into the pre-season Season 4, which is the patch that I'm doing this video on, and the old Season 3. But I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. It can be easy looking at these changes thinking, holy crap, what am I going to do? Everything's changing. Don't worry. Honestly, you won't feel too lost in the new jungle, and I'm going to help you with this video to guide you through the biggest changes that you need to be aware of when you're going into this new jungle. So first off, Smite, which is a jungler's best friend, has been changed ever so slightly. The cooldown now is at 40 seconds from 60 seconds, and also the damage at earlier ranks has been reduced. Basically, what this means is that you can now use Smite more frequently when you are jungling. And so, therefore, the implications of this is that people who would rely on Smite more, who weren't necessarily as good in the jungle themselves, are now stronger because they have this Smite more readily available to help them with their clearing. And so, as a jungler, you don't have to be holding onto your Smite as much as you would be if you were in Season 3 because of the higher cooldown. Now you can use it more liberally to increase your own clear speeds. Secondly, the jungle items have all been changed. When I say jungle items, I mean the Wriggle's Lantern, the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, and the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. What all these changes boil down to is increasing the gold flow for a jungler. All of these items have unique passives on them which increase the amount of gold that you get when you are clearing the jungle. What this means is that there's now more influence on getting that jungle item because of the gold that it gives you. You can't really go without getting it, and you have to be getting it as soon as possible because then that means you're benefiting from the gold income as soon as possible. So the Elder Lizard and the Spectral Wraith have the same gold income effect. Basically, that means that on champion kills, assists, and epic monsters, which are Dragon and Baron, you get 40 bonus gold, and on large creeps, so the big wolf, the big wraith, etc, you get 10 bonus gold. The Ancient Golem is slightly different, and it gives you a stacking passive that goes all the way up to 80 stacks. And when you kill a big creep, so like the big wraith, the big wolf, then you release those stacks up to 40, and the amount of stacks that you release is equal to the amount of gold, bonus gold, that you receive from killing that jungle creep. So because your stacks can actually go further than the amount of gold that you can receive from it, it means that it's not too bad for just letting the stacks accumulate while you're doing other things. So if you're slow at clearing, or if you're ganking, then this Ancient Golem item is pretty good as far as the gold generation goes. Now, Wriggle's Lantern has been changed altogether. It now doesn't give you the AD or the lifesteal. It gives you armor, it gives you attack speed, and then it gives you on-hit effects which act the same as lifesteal. And also, you do 100 bonus magic damage every single auto attack. As far as gold generation goes, it's pretty straightforward with the Wriggles. You gain 40% bonus gold from all the jungle creeps that you kill. So in theory, the Wriggles item is really good for the farm junglers because it increases your farm speed, and it also gives you 40% bonus extra gold on all the jungle creeps, which is a lot more gold than you'd be getting from the other spirit items in the jungle. However, in practice, I don't really like the Wriggles item. Firstly, it costs too much. It's 1800 gold for an investment item. That is a lot of gold, and it's really not worth it. And the combat stats are really crappy on Wriggles. So if you get this Wriggles, then you are weak. You're not as strong in the fights compared to someone who has a spirit item. So that means you're going to be giving up objectives or things like that. You're not going to have the upper hand. You are pretty much pigeonholed into just farming if you buy this Wriggles item. And secondly, the gold that you actually get from Wriggles is not really that much. I played a game where I was Nocturne, who clears extremely quickly in this new jungle. I built glass cannon, so I was killing all the camps before they would even respawn. And by 20 minutes, I had like 800 bonus gold. It really was not that much. By the time I had to stop farming my jungle and start team fighting, I'd only got around 1000 gold. Which, considering you have to spend 1800 gold just to get the Wriggles itself, I don't really think it's worth it. Especially when you then consider the fact that the spirit items will be giving you maybe 300, 400 gold. So it was really only 500 or 600 gold bonus difference. And the fact that you have to sacrifice that combat stats, sacrifice your strength in the early mid game, I don't really think it's worth it personally. And the last thing I want to talk about is the introduction of the 4th jungle camp, the White Camp. Now, a lot of people have been saying that because of the introduction of this 4th camp, that junglers are now going to have more access to gold. They're going to have more farm, more minions to kill, more jungle camps, more gold, they're going to be stronger, etc, etc. In theory, that makes a lot of sense, but in practice, that's not quite true. Most junglers, and by most I mean 90% of them and more, won't be able to farm all 4 of these camps. They simply won't be fast enough to do so. They're just going to be able to farm the 3 camps like they would do in Season 3. So their increased gold is more down to the increased ambient gold that everyone gets, and increased gold from the jungle items rather than this 4th camp. However, having said that, that doesn't mean that the white camp is completely useless. It does have its benefits. For me, the biggest benefit is a positional one. You now can be in your blue buff area when you want to farm the jungle, as opposed to before when you really had to be around your red buff if you wanted to farm, because that's where the majority of the jungle camps were. And the second biggest change, in my opinion, is one that's going to happen after the lane phase. As a lot of you guys know, once the lane phase has ended, all of the jungle camps kind of belong to your laners. They farm everything up, and the jungler often goes without. However, now that the white camp is around, there's an extra jungle camp for either you or your laners to farm, so hopefully that means that the jungler should get a more even split of those jungle camps after the lane phase. And in my opinion, those are the biggest changes, so don't worry, like I said at the beginning, you won't really feel lost in this new Season 4 jungle. It'll take a little bit of time to get used to, but it's not as big a change as things look like on paper. So have fun playing around in the new Season 4 jungle. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.